Good morning.
Good morning.
They got me behind a podium. I don't like podiums. I like to move around. My name is Daye. I'm the founder of Stand Up Speak Out of North Carolina. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization that works with children and teens who witness domestic violence or sexual abuse. The uniqueness of our organization is that we utilize art therapy, poetry and journaling, music and dance in conjunction with traditional therapy. We believe at Stand Up Speak Out is that we can get counseling, children will go to counseling, but a lot of times they don't want to continue to repeat what they've experienced. So we use art, painting and writing. The passion behind this organization is my own story. So I am going to try to share that with you today. Let God use me to share my story and why I'm so passionate about this work. I'll start with first sharing how art therapy helped me. Too distant to be mentioned. Ripped into pieces of family secrets never to be broken. Hoping no after effects will affect her senses, but it did. After 26 years, hidden tears find their way to the surface. See, she had lost her courage because someone hurt her. Lapse of memory had her taking risks. Lapse of memory had her mind playing tricks, but no, she was starting to remember. The hit. The first time he tried to kiss her and she clenched. And the taste of leftover urine that made her feel like she would vomit. Droplets of premature ejaculation made her hate him. Conversations between God and the devil made her lose her salvation. Devastating. That someone who claimed to love her would make her a victim. Close kin, more like cousins, sneaked in while family members sat at the dinner table, reminiscing on the good old days. While children played in back rooms. They say, the little ones are so innocent. So they dropped their overprotectiveness. Had older siblings and cousins watch over them while they pretended to be grown up, but some was a little too grown up in the game of house. Shh, don't be too loud. Don't ever let the secret come out, and it didn't. Held it in, never to bring it up again. Buried it and swept it in the crease of an abandoned room, never to be resumed. But soon visions with so vivid pictures of little children who would never fully bloom. Confused because their soul had been devoured. And now another innocent child has been devoured, and mama's not paying attention. Too busy listening to the latest gossip coming from the church pulpit that she missed her daughter's cry for her attention. She didn't even know that her child's soul was missing, wishing that mama would come to her rescue. But the child's 911 phone calls never got through. Line is disconnected. We're sorry. The number you called cannot be complete this time. Please check the number and dial your call again. And again, and again, and again she calls. But no one seems to recall the thousands of calls for help, the rebellious behavior, the suicide attempts, the running away from home, the skipping school, the unable to pay attention in school, the multiple sex partners. Did anyone bother to take the time to calculate the signs? No. They just brushed it off. Said this was just a phase that will soon fade away, so they took olive cooking oil, anointed her head, and prayed. But soon after that, they lost their faith. Took her to unfamiliar counselors who thought they could make her break the silence. But no, she was too far gone now. She was violent, juvenile delinquent, all because her guardian angel, aka her mother, didn't pay attention. She just didn't believe that someone snatched her precious seed, took her to the 4th floor on the elevator, and robbed her of her virginity. While she was in the same vicinity, speaking in tongues, giving God the glory. But no one wants me to remember this story. And no one really wants me to tell this testimony, but I have to. Because as you sit and listen to this poem, every second that goes by, a child is being abused. A son is left confused. A daughter is left internally bruised, and a mother is refusing the truth. This could be you. Your child might be screaming right now for you to come to her rescue. Don't disconnect it. Don't disconnect it. Don't press ignore on your cell phones because your child might be screaming for your help because she's afraid and alone. So answer that 911 phone call. and dispatch yourself to your son's or daughter's location, because your voice and your presence might just be their savior. I grew up in a 2-parent home. My mother, an evangelist, my father, a deacon, my grandmother, the mother of the church, and every time the church doors were open, we were in church. So I know all about God. Mondays we were in church for something, and Tuesday we were in church, and Wednesday and probably Thursday I was doing choir rehearsal. All the time we were in church. Church is supposed to be safe. It's the place where no mother or father will feel like something terrible will happen to their child. So in July of 1992, when we attended a big church conference, seminar much like this, but bigger, with national artists and vendors from all over, it wasn't out of the ordinary because we're in the house of the Lord, right? We were in the church. So when I asked my mother, can I go to the restroom? Why would she feel any type of way of allowing me to go? I went, and I went out with a friend who was 16 or 17, so she was supposed to be the chaperone. We're looking at vendor tables after we used the restroom, but we're kids, we don't want to sit in church. We've already been in there for hours already. I don't know if you know anything about Pentecostal churches, but they stay in church all the time. And so, as a kid, you get tired if you don't have no activities to engage you, right? So we decided, okay, we're going to be out, we're looking at vendors and whatever, and I'm not far from where she's at. I decided to go sit down playing with, I think I had some like little toys of animal that I like playing with at the time. So I had it with me, and I'm sitting by the bench, and she can see me from where I'm at. The elevator is here, and I hear people coming on and off. I'm not paying any attention to it. I'm 11. But what happened next changed the dynamics of my life. I was sitting by the elevator, not paying attention. She was talking to vendors, and I was grabbed and taken on the elevator. I was taken to the 4th floor in an open stairwell, and I was raped. What maybe only lasted just a few minutes was a lifetime for me, and it changed the dynamics of my life. From a 2-parent home, growing up in a healthy environment, I'd never seen abuse, I had never witnessed any abuse. Father never yelled at mom, nothing to this nature. No one ever talked about abuse in any capacity. I was an A/B student, but this changed the dynamics of my entire journey. When it was over, he got up, went on about his business, and I was left there. It probably was just a few minutes when I got myself finally together, and I went looking for my parents. I was taken to the hospital, made the report, but he was never captured. So the statistics that you saw are very real. They did everything that they needed to do at the hospital. They tried to, I guess, find this guy, but it didn't matter. I was tired of repeating my story to social workers and caseworkers or whatever. My parents took me to counseling. Counseling didn't work. It was a male counselor. Why in the world would I want to talk to him? So I didn't talk. Counseling after counseling session, I did not talk. And I ended up just shutting down. My life took a complete turn. For a year, I shut down. They sent me to counseling. They tried to get me mentors. They did everything that they could, but I didn't want to talk, because I did not want to repeat. For me, at 11, I wanted it to go away. For a year, nothing. And then all of a sudden, I started getting in trouble in school. The AP student, grades became D's and F's. The student that grew up knowing that you respect your elders, you respect teachers, started cursing teachers out, fighting in school, running away, doing all types of things that I had never done before. I ran away from home, At 14, I looked 17, 18, and two things I tell people happen to a victim who's been abused. You either become promiscuous or you shut down. I needed something, and I felt like the only way to get it was through sex. And I began to become the promiscuous young girl. I was in my first abusive relationship at 14 with a guy who was 17 or 18. I was in my second abusive relationship at 17. You're looking at a woman who, before she was even a woman, I've been choked till I was passed out, I've had black eyes, I've been hit with metal rails from the bed, I've been called all types of names, verbally abused, emotionally abused, psychologically abused. I am a survivor. What helped? I'm a writer. And through healing through arts, which is what my organization talks about, we focus on the healing aspect. I could not talk to a counselor. Maybe another victim can. For me, it was about writing. If you gave me a journal, if you gave me a pencil, I could tell you about that pain that I experienced. But I could not share that one-on-one. I used writing as my outlet. And it was not until I was 19 or 20, while I was still in the last abusive relationship, I began to use that art to share. I went out and I shared a poem just like I shared with you this morning. And at that moment, so many women and so many survivors came to me saying, that is my story. Please keep sharing. For some reason, that gave me some form of hope. I did counseling, I did group therapy, and I continued on with my life to share my story. Through sharing my story and through poetry, it helped me to heal. Even though I was going out speaking, nervous as I could be, I was sharing my story and helping other people, but I also was helping myself. Each and every time I shared, over and over again, it was like the wounds on me, within me, were healing. That might not be your story. You might be nervous to get up and share, but maybe even just writing it might be an outlet for you. I believe in healing through the arts. I believe that that is what helped me to get to this place to be able to come and share. Was it a long journey? Absolutely. Am I do I have it all together now? No. Because there's still flashbacks. There's still dreams. There's still different things that survivors experience many years down the road. But that I'm a work in progress, and as I continue to work and I continue to deal with the healing, which is a lifetime sometimes, I continue to share that we all have a space in this healing journey. As I move forward and get out of your way, I want to leave something with you. I'll be here tomorrow as well, more so sharing about the aftermath of abuse. I have a daughter from that abusive relationship, the second one. She's 18 now. But it was her that helped me to see that I did not want her to believe that it was okay for someone to abuse you. She had her own journey. And that's why I am so passionate about talking to children and working with children. Because we think that our children, they're there when you're having arguments, they're there when there's, some type of abuse, or they don't really know what's going on. But they do, and it affects them. And because I hadn't dealt with my own healing until I was way in my 20s, I brought all of that on in that parenting aspect as well. We cannot suppress the abuse. We cannot act like it did not happen. Because suppression, it will come back and it will rise. I want to encourage you that if you have experienced anything, sexual abuse, domestic violence, sexual assault in any capacity, that you talk to someone today. I don't care if it's been 30 years ago that you think, oh, well, it was 50-some years, 30 years ago, and it's over, and I just move on with my life. I promise you it's probably somewhere still there. Something happens in your space that keeps bringing it back. Healing is beautiful. The breakthrough is awesome. And I encourage you to walk this path with us. Thank you for listening.